And welcome back to the home of table tennis here in China. This is the WTT champion Xinjiang 2023, presented, as you could see on screen there, by our key sponsor here, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, a beautiful city to be in that has become an incredible place for table tennis professionals to gather. This is the Infinity Arena where the action is going down, the most beautiful of stadiums here. And in the singles battles on the men's and women's side, just 32 on each side battling for $800,000 in prize money plus world ranking points. Here's a look at what we've got coming up this session. We'll start off with the British boy Liam Pitchford of England versus Dong Chio, the European champion from Germany. Following that will be Bruna Takahashi of Brazil versus Yang Ziliu from Australia. Following that will be Tomokazu Harimoto versus Patrick Franziska. Then the Olympic champion Chun Meng versus Jun Ji-hee. And finishing it off with Anton Schellberg and Ma Long.
此刻，让我们用欢呼声请出世界排名第25，来自英格兰的伊切福特。
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the world number 25 from England, Liam Pitchford.
接下来，让我们大家欢呼我们都非常熟悉的世界排名第8位，来自德国的邱大。
Let's welcome the world number 8 from Germany, Childa.
So here he is, the man who we've recently adapted our pronunciation of his name, Dong Chio, as he's known throughout Europe. Dong Chio, the European champion at his first ever appearance. Head-to-head, they've played 6 times, these two. 4 of them, 2/3 of them, to Liam Pitchford, the world ranked number 25, 17 spots behind his opponent. Versus pen holders, Liam Pitchford does not have a convincing record. Chio Dong, being one of the top pen holders in the world, has a 75% win record. So lots to look forward to here. So with the headband on, you'll have a chance to see Liam Pitchford in action in a best-of-5 match. That means the first player to win 3 games, games played to 11 points, must win by 2. They'll alternate serves every 2 points until it gets to 10-10 or deuce, in which case they'll alternate every single point. Huang Lei, our umpire, will be officiating from the high chair and taking care of the good old-fashioned spinny toss of the coin. So the players come together, and as they get their towel box nice and prepared, they'll be back, and we'll find out what's the most they've ever lost on a coin toss.
Black for you, red for you. Black, what do you want? Okay.
It's a little quiet admission there of what he wants. Liam Pitchford, one of 2 players on court with a headband on right now, the other here. Dong Chio, pen hold grip. If you're newer to table tennis, there are 2 dominant grips in the game, and the overwhelming grip is what you see on screen there, the shake hands grip by 29-year-old Liam Pitchford. The way you would shake a human being's hand, much like the way you would hold a tennis racket, really, just the pointer finger up on the backhand side. Guides the racket forward for that forehand stroke and precision. When you play a backhand with this grip, the thumb does more of the controlling factor. Liam Pitchford, one of the most dangerous players in the world, been one of the only few that has beaten Xu Xin, who you haven't seen internationally quite as much recently. We'll tell you more about that as time comes. He was the top pen holder in front of this man here, the 26-year-old Dong Chio, currently world ranked number 8, has already been a pro for 12 years, 63% win rate professionally, but recently it's gone up and up. I think a big part of that percentage is just over the years, but right now he's the best we've ever seen him so far. What are they playing for? $800,000 in prize money. The champion takes 1,000 points in their world rankings plus $35,000 USD cash money. So Liam Pitchford with that backhand, you can see how loaded it is, how springy and whippy it is. Liam Pitchford, one of the, well, more lanky players you could say. He's got outstanding reach, he's thin, he's tall, and his backhand is dangerous inside the table and also from behind. Dong Cho, incredibly consistent in the quick game near the table, but also very athletic.
The first game, pitcher footer serve lap O.
So it's going to be Liam Pitchford to start off this best-of-5 match. Oh, edge of the table. Good thing we got the ball kids and a whole lot of balls waiting. Best-of-5, here we go. Pitch to start it off. There's that backhand. 2 steps behind the table and still fast enough to go down the line out of reach. Now the pen hold grip, much like the way you would hold a pen when you're writing. I'm actually holding a pen right now just for practice. Good timing right on top of the bounce. I was going to say the advantages of the pen hold grip are typically that the racket hangs lower. You don't have to lift it as high. You're not fighting gravity as much as a shake hands player. Perfectly placed into the body. Now the backhand, the reverse pen hold backhand, is the modern addition to the traditional game that saved that grip. Overwhelmingly, we see shake hands players though for a reason. The reason is the advantages of that grip outweigh the advantages of the pen hold grip, typically speaking. So points dead even here after 4 have been played. Look at this turn. Leans back, seatbelt shot, and then plays the backhand down the line. Enjoy it one more time. Quick reaction from Pitch, just deflecting that shot.
3-0.
Funny, many have seen Dong Cho and thought, this guy, an American football player, look at the upper body on this guy, the shoulders. He's got a very strong base as well. And it keeps him very quick. Right on top of the bounce, he's able to recover, come back into position, and his backhand is very efficient. 2 strong backhands out here, but quite different in their styles.
3-5.
Nice long serve, surprise factor high. Suddenly Dong Cho with a 2-point lead. Now as the taller player, Liam Pitchford is going to be a little bit more exposed when the ball's played to his elbow, or even a little bit on the forehand side, that middle. Feels like just yesterday, actually, when Liam Pitchford in Qatar played against Xu Xin and pulled off this incredible victory. Some of the rallies, even with Bon Jandong that he had, were just unbelievable. There's a sense of fearlessness when Liam Pitchford plays, taking dangerous shots.
8-3.
They're not all going to go his way, but he takes his shots. Excellent serve there as Dong Cho keeps it nice and short. Here it is once again, the wrist of Liam Pitchford. If it ever stiffens up, that is going to be one of his greatest weapons that he's going to have to reinvent in another way. But in the meantime, as it served him well for many years now, that backhand taken down the best in the world. So tough to tell where it's going to go. Licking the lips out here trying to figure out and get in position. Dong Cho still with a 3-point lead.
9-5.
Good pressure with the RPB, that reverse pen hold backhand. Pitch wears his heart on his sleeve. You can see when he's not happy about the way things have just worked out. Outstanding touch from Dong Cho to recover that ball. Didn't pop it up, was able to keep it short right after the net. Look at it one more time. From baseline, too. Was able to keep Liam Pitchford off the attack. 5 game points now for the European champ, Germany's Dong Cho. Cautious play and precision. Liam Pitchford making sure he didn't leave open too much of the table there. Didn't go for the kill shot. Kept his opponent in the deep backhand corner. From under the table, scooped up, but right there and waiting, Dong Cho with the power. Just drives through and secures game number 1. So, 11-6. Germany's Dong Cho in solid form here. Despite a few quick points, Liam Pitchford has shown what he's capable of and that there's going to be a lot of danger there. But consistent, low, well prepared. It is Dong Cho, 11-6 with the first game in this best of 5. First player to win 3. Stay right here because game 2 is coming up in just a bit. A lot of lip-licking entertainment here. Some good facial expressions, as you might have enjoyed between games there. Testing the lights, making sure everything is fine. With the service toss here. Game 2, love all.
1 love.
Seemed like there was a little bit of a disagreement there. Pitch seemed to think the serve touched the net on the way over, but nobody else seemed to.
Love 2.
That's fair, though. That is the honor system. You've got the official there, the umpire and the assistant umpire, and if no one else calls it. Oh, after all that work way back in the backcourt, Liam Pitchford with the big backhand. Dong Cho holding down the fort, keeping control on top of the bounce. Again, it's not to the advantage of anyone to be that far behind the table, except the spectators.
3-1.
It's to the advantage of the spectators. Dong Cho controlling the scoreboard here. I was going to say, though, if he doesn't see the ball hit the net and no one else does either, absolutely his right to say what he thinks and believes. And fair enough, as you should.
3-2.
Pitch with his second point here in the early parts of game 2 is going to be looking for ways to get Dong Cho behind the table.
Flat. 3-2.
Unanimous here, everyone catching that one on the way over. Surprise factor on the parallel. Dong Cho catching pitch, waiting for a forehand, and quickly set him up in the backhand camp. Watch how deceptive it is. Barely moves his lower body because he was in such good position and has the strength to just quickly make that short forehand stroke. And a perfect block right back to where it came from. This is one of the beauties of table tennis. You can be as strong as both of these players are, fast and physically fit. The rallies once again. It is Dong Cho who's able to counter, and the crowd loving it. We see you. That last shot apparently just deep to the corner there, hooking side to topspin.
6-3.
I mean, we've seen Pitch over the years rally with the best in the world. His match against Fan Zhendong in 2018 in London really put him on the international map.
3-7.
Good kick. It went over 2 layers of the barriers there.
3-8.
Fortune favoring Dong Cho right now. They both had a share of it, but now this is tough. When you think about sort of the positioning of these two, Liam Pitchford's going to do everything he can to control the short part of the game to get Dong Cho behind the table wherever he can. You can see 75% of the last 16 points in a best of 5. That's quite significant. Good heavy push here, a bit of extra rotation. That extra underspin from Liam Pitchford. So 6 game points for Dong Cho here. An RPB push. You don't see that too often. He came in for the banana flick and was quickly backpedaling, but the touch play there. Dong Cho, take a look one more time. Long reverse pendulum serve and still in position. So there will be a lot of conversation on the German side about the serve and receive game. But right now the work is all cut out for England's Liam Pitchford after dominant performances in games 1 and 2 from the European champion, the world number 8, Dong Cho. So a little look here at the world rankings for the players that are here. This is everybody. Look at the world rankings. Dong Cho, world rank number 8. Sandwiched in between Lin Gaoyuan and Liang Jingquin. China with, 5 of the top 9 in the world. But on the women's side, 7 of the top 8. Silent Assassin and number 10, Fan Zhendong. The difference in points there, drastic. Just way out on top. Starting off well here, Liam Pitchford again. Total of 10 points between the first 2 games, so looking to turn things around now.
1-0.
Nice change of timing here. Dong Cho with the opponent behind the table, doesn't send it back to him.
2-1.
I think this is a key tactic, the in and out part of the game. When you notice that your opponent is behind the table, playing with power isn't always the answer. Sometimes softening it up a bit.
2-0.
So first 4-point split here. Pitch is going to have to find a little bit of wiggle room, get out in front where he can. Nice tight serve. Leaves an obstacle there for Dong Cho, the baseline of the table, that back edge. And an encouraging score line here for England's Liam Pitchford. Now, one thing as a taller player, we saw this a lot with Vladimir Samsonov over recent decades of table tennis, using that backhand block and guiding it to cover the elbow, play out in front. To be very effective. Earlier you take the ball, the wider angles you have and the less time your opponent has. It's just a tougher shot to make often. Worth the practice. Spinny shot, 2 backhands in a row. He can count on that. Pitch does not have to turn the corner to play a forehand. Nice to have that strong backhand weapon waiting. 2-point lead, serves back with him. Parallel completely fools Dong Cho on this one. Knowing the game well, not even the longest stroke, just guides it back down the line. Beautiful read on the receive. Dong Cho has been so efficient near that back edge. And he'll stay persistent there. Make sure that he doesn't get too passive or allow pitch to get in. What a block! Pressure comes in hot and the heat is turned up. Side and top spin right off the bounce. Dong Cho's there, but pitch is perfectly in position. And a good fishing shot from pitch, but the big swing backhand comes down long. Second towel break here. Coach Ju in the corner for Dong Cho. Had to do a jumping backhand there. Don't see that too often. World number 1 will pull it out when he needs. You could feel sort of the analysis going on there, being caught in 2 minds. Clever idea. Liam Pitchford waiting patiently to see where his opponent moved. This is a big point for Pitch. It puts him up by 2 in the business end of game number 3 in a must-win game for Liam Pitchford. Liam Pitchford has no coach in the corner right now. It has not been easy for everybody to get to be here. A fairly exclusive event.
7-8.
If I caught that, go to the ball. Don't let the bounce control you. Recognize what's coming in, get in position.
8-0.
And as an expressive player with no coach in the corner at the moment, Pitch will be giving himself pep talks where he needs. Right now is potentially one of those times. A lot of work for a point. The parallel forehand and the follow-up backhand. Vocalizing, realizing opportunity as well. Never an easy time. But again, in something, such a critical moment right now, to give a gift to the opponent, not to mention the next two serves, which will be the last two serve combination of this game, could end the match. Dong Cho with the serves. And it is match point for the European champion to move on through without a scratch from the round of 32. And Dong Cho has done it in 3 straight games, has taken down England's leading lad, Liam Pitchford, a very strong opponent. And Dong Cho shows why he is world number 8. Well prepared, had a response for almost everything, despite a handful and then some of backhands that caught the crowd quite excited. Those big bomba backhands from behind the table. But Dong Cho, without dropping a game, has moved on through to the round of 16. Again, worldtabletennis.com. You can see the bracket. We'll keep you posted of who's coming up next and what they have to look forward to. But 6-4 and 9, the tightest of those 3 games, where Liam Pitchford was looking to continue the match and extend. But in the end, it was Dong Cho just too well prepared. So 33-19 overall points. The biggest lead, well, understood. Game 2, he won 11-4, Dong Cho. So it even came back from down 3 points. These are the ingredients that make for a winning cake. So all the ingredients were mixed into the bowl today. But what's coming up next? Bruna Takahashi of Brazil and Yang Zhiliu of Australia. 3 years playing in Australia and a major opportunity here. This should be a fascinating battle to see. I can't wait for this breakthrough performer to battle. That match coming up next. Welcome back to the Infinity Arena where the action is going down at the WTT Champions Xinjiang 2023. We've had a lot of big matches today, some very exciting nail-biting performances, and starting off session number 2 on day 1, Dong Cho, the European champion, 3-0 bageling Liam Pitchford of England. Following that, coming up next, we got Bruna Takahashi of Brazil versus Yang Ziliu of Australia, Tomokazu Harimoto in France, Chun Meng and Jun Ji Hee, and then Anton Schellberg with Ma Long.
首先，让我们有请世界排名第40位，来自巴西的高桥。
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the world number 40 from Brazil, Bruna Takahashi.
接下来，让我们有请世界排名第31位，来自澳大利亚的刘洋子。
Let's welcome the world number 31 from Australia, Liu Yangzi.
So here she comes. If you're from Australia, you might have seen her recently. Oh, interesting. Osgriff on the shirt there. Curious to know more about that. I'll ask her when I see her. She's world rank number 31. This is their first ever time meeting, and it should be interesting. Pips on the backhand of Yang Ziliu, and Bruna Takahashi inverted rubber on both sides. They've both taken an event to their name. Bruna Takahashi, world rank number 40. Now the reason, normally, Chinese names, we would say the family name first and then the given name, like Liu Yangzi. But as she's been living and competing in Australia for 3 years, this is how she's known. That is a freaking sweet shirt. And Ugo Calderano in the corner for Bruna Takahashi. So, Li Lin, our umpire, will be officiating for the match.
Please.
Brazilian teammates taking care of each other out here. Man, that shirt is dazzling. Anyway, Yang Ziliu said that's how she's known in Australia. And
Toss, please. Black or red? Black for you. White for you. White, you win the first. Receive. Service. Pushing. Right side to the match.
Yang Ziliu chooses to serve to start it off after winning the coin toss. Actually coming from Henan, not far from here, I think Zhengzhou, where many of us flew into to be here for this event. Her parents are both here, mom and dad. Boyfriend is here. That is not necessarily unique though out here. 22 years old Bruna Takahashi has found a lot of success. Brazil is sort of the China of Latin America, although of course Puerto Rico with the Diaz family has done quite well. That said, Bruna Takahashi, the leading lady for the women of Brazil, has a very aggressive game. On both wings, she's comfortable near and far from the table. But at 20 years old, Yang Ziliu is really making a name for herself. This is a big opportunity here. 4 years of pro, which you could consider a late start for many parts of the world. And for me, this will be my first time having the opportunity to call one of her matches. I think we see this. China is so strong in table tennis. Well, talk about it more in a moment, but look at the prize money and the points on screen there. Anyway, China is so strong in table tennis that many people get quite far and realize they will never have a chance to live their dream. Whether it's being a provincial team member but not a national team member, or being a national team member but being 27 through 52, being somewhere on the B team and realizing, I don't think I'll get to play the Olympic Games.
The first game, Liu to serve. Love all.
Yang Ziliu will start off this best of 5 with the serves. Love to all.
One love.
Now, if you're newer to table tennis, pips, those little bumps that look like Legos that Liu has on her backhand side, create less spin. Ooh, service gift early on. So the red side of her racket is going to be a flatter shot when she plays with her backhand. It's going to be tougher for Bruna Takahashi to rally with.
1-2.
The players tend to do a lot of studying and preparation as soon as they know who their opponent is to prepare their tactics for the match.
3-1.
So I don't expect to see Bruna Takahashi going backhand to backhand for long. She does go to the backhand. It's going to be deep. It's going to be spinny. But right now, Yang Zilio looking outstanding in the counter game. Short strokes, right on top, moving well. Good pressure here. That backhand opening from Bruna Takahashi, loaded with spin, and the follow-up spin and pace as well. How much side spin is on that opening banana flick. Just amazing how well calibrated Yang Zilio is when she closes the racket to stay on top of the bounce. Placement here.
5-3.
Bruna Takahashi with a very spinny low shot to the deep backhand corner to secure a point. 2 points between them. Back edge of the table.
5-4.
Only one now. Edging closer. Pun intended. And here her coach offering some advice on the serve. Oh, upside down happy face hearing.
5-4.
I imagine it's got full rotation. It's funny, this is a lot more coaching than we normally hear. I'm looking up the coach's name. I think, wouldn't be surprised if it is her father, who she said would be here, and I think worked with her growing up.
5-7.
Would also explain the sort of excessive coaching. Parents tend to be that way. They really care about their kids and want to see them succeed. 6 of the last 8 points. Real change in momentum here favoring Takahashi.
6-7.
That said, Yang Zilio, a good moment here to break that momentum on the serve. Bruna Takahashi just cleaning the rubber there to make sure she's got full grip and traction.
7-4.
Again, for table tennis fans around the world, you might think Bruna Takahashi would be the strong favorite here, although the world rankings would say otherwise. Yang Zilio, world rank number 31. Top edge, in theory, it could come down, but not enough.
7.
This is why you never give up and you follow the shot, you follow the ball. Off the edge of the racket, goes straight up with a lot of backspin, which means on its way down, it'll carry back to your opponent's side of the table. Crowd rooting on their local girl, despite the fact that she's been playing for 3 years now in Australia. Big serve, a fiery fight here. It's been back and forth, the seesaw game 1. Takes all the spin off that backhand. Ball comes in, and Yang Zilio, watch what she does here. Just a soft block, no guiding forward, leaves it with a little rotation to make it awkward for Bruna Takahashi. And now, the Australian player with 2 game points. Beautiful forehand flick. Takahashi saves game point. Still 1 more to go for her opponent. That is a lot of work for a point, but Bruna Takahashi is up to the task. The in and out game, so tough from behind the table, plays a ball from about knee height to get back into authority in this rally. Looking for that backhand punch, trying to find ways to be less reactive and take more initiative. But an outright service point. Yang Ziliu has been quite effective in her service game. I wonder if Cosgriff was a chosen name temporarily in Australia. Get you more on that as I learn more. Game point, third time over for Yang Ziliu.
Last 10-11.
And there it is, 12-10. She secures game one, a nail-biting finish, and by the narrowest of margins, it is a 1-0 lead for Yang Ziliu of Australia. So Bruna Takahashi, Brazil's leading lady, has her work cut out. As the hill on the other side of the table becomes a slightly steeper incline. Game number two of this women's singles round of 32 battle will continue with game two. Who's it going to be? We'll see. Can Hugo Calderano with teammate Bruna Takahashi power through? Stay right here. The rackets out there on the table. As time is called, they will make their way back to the table. It's amazing to be here in Xinjiang. In Xinjiang, you can hear the table tennis around the city, lining the streets, the lights, the WTT colored lights. So sleeve pulled up, preparing for the toss. Bruna Takahashi down 0-1 to start off game two. Short side, the parallel, and it skates up that edge. A lot of interesting conversation recently on social media about what is good and what is not. There was no question about this one. All it has to do is touch the playing surface. Which means, hypothetically, if you hit the ball from below the table and it was 99% side and 1% top, it still touched the playing surface. Although the naked eye wouldn't see that, like it has seen 6 of the last 8 points go to Yang Ziliu. But on the scoreboard now, Bruna Takahashi. Took a while to earn that big forehand. Again, short game has been strong from Yang Ziliu.
1-3.
In the women's game, it's more common to see the short pips on the backhand side. After all, the women's game is more about speed and positioning, reaction time, than it is spin necessarily. But in table tennis, spin is always going to be a major factor, and with 2 different surfaces that Yang Ziliu from Australia here has, her forehand and backhand are going to create very different trajectories and rotations, making her tough to rally with.
5-1.
Gotta love the fire. Liu right now, 83+% of the first 6 points as we come into the first towel break. Just a quick moment there for the players to dry off. 12 of the last 16, continuing that 75% exchange rate here.
6-1.
You can see how badly she wants it. Pumping that fist and then acknowledging a bit of fortune, but it's just every single point. This would be a major victory for someone climbing the world rankings.
Two, 6.
Too much, she says. She overshoots that shot.
2-7.
Now, had you asked me before the match, again, I had not seen Yang Ziliu play before, but Bruna Takahashi, one of the more vocal players, quite fiery, Right now, hasn't had a chance to share that so much.
8-2.
Runaway time here.
Stop.
Ball left on court. Ball kids out.
Stop.
If you could see the ball kids right
Okay.
now.
Pick up the ball.
Young Zilio is going to get it. They were discussing who should get it. It was dead even in the middle, and it's like, no, it's closer to you. It's closer to you. Good times. Rocket backhand, the punching shot. To rally with it is one thing, but when she gets the opportunity here, there's the soft light rotation, counter punch, and then that stingy backhand. You might have seen it from Mima Ito before. Just a handful of others playing that fast with a backhand punch.
2-10.
Now this score line right now set up the facial expression you saw before. Just for a brief moment there, Bruna Takahashi against 8 game points. And on top of the bounce right there waiting. Yang Zilio, just an outstanding start here, dominating after a narrow margin victory, 12-10 in the first, despite being up 10-8. A little comeback on the other side. This one left no question as to who would take this game. Got control and didn't let go. Yang Zilio 1 game away. Fortune there off the top of the net, yes. Continuing to capitalize on opportunities, another yes. So here's a look at the top movers and shakers, the money makers of the last 12 months in table tennis in the women's world rankings who are here right now. And Yang Zilio of Australia is at the top of that list, 158 spots moved. Just absolutely dwarfing Yuen Jianan's 32 places moved. And Yuen Jianan of France had quite a year last year.
Third game.
But this is the one to watch right now. Yang Zilio of Australia putting Oceania on the map. The world rankings, again, the continent you play in can definitely factor into your world ranking.
Love 1.
Strong start here from Bruna Takahashi in the rally. Took a lot of work to get her opponent slightly behind the table. Just slightly. And a long serve to get outright into the rally, but deep into the middle for an outright point. Not the first time we've seen that.
Two, 1.
Now this will be interesting. She's trying to keep herself close to the table as the body language suggests there. Yang Zilio. And Bruna Takahashi doing everything she can to keep her opponent behind the baseline by as much as possible.
1-3.
Now while there are advantages to the short pips on the backhand side, if there were more advantages than disadvantages, you'd see everyone doing it. So it is a specialized skill. That said, once you get behind the table, it's a little bit lower percentage. You don't have that spin that you need. And the finishing shot. You can see right now tactically that Bruna Takahashi is looking, 1, to keep it deep when she goes to the backhand. 2, to make sure that she goes to the backhand only when she feels like she can make a quality opening. I think that's quite smart, and it's working out well for her. Ooh, a bit more fortune there. Yang Zilio's had her share so far. This one stays on the table. Obviously not intentional. You can see she feels quite guilty about it just because it's been a bit of imbalance, but it is her job to keep the ball as low to the net as possible, generally speaking. On an outright service point, the underspin on the pendulum serve, Bruna Takahashi extending that lead.
Two, 6.
And half long, a little bit on the longer side of half long, tempting the opponent to go for the attack. But if she can keep it deceptive, it's not always how much spin is on the serve, but how difficult it is to read. That's going to be a very tough one time and time again. A shallow topspin shot off the short pips. Again, when Yang Zilio plays topspin with the backhand, the question is how much topspin is on it.
7-3.
And a gift. Welcome to my hometown, more or less. At least home province, we could say. Still got it. Beautiful forehand flick. And a face palm moment. Just a hand to the forehead here. Love the reaction. Moved a little bit early, says you know better.
3-9.
Bruna Takahashi's been well in control. Her serves have made it very difficult for Yang Zilio to really get comfortable in the receive game or stay close to the table.
3-10.
And now 7 game points for a player who was beaten 11-2 in the last game. Have the tables turned? Well, they've switched sides. We'll see here.
10-4.
The tactics are clear, and she's continuing to look for that opportunity to pounce on the backhand. Quite frankly, this is a good opportunity for Bruna Takahashi. I think she'll make that most of the time, but heavy spin, a quality opening, even though it came up a bit from Yang Zilio. And from behind the table, that flatter shot will be a lower percentage shot. And a very convincing performance out here. 11-4, Bruna Takahashi makes quite a statement in game number 3. Says, I'm not going anywhere, not quickly. And it is a constant change, a dance, a catch me if you can of tactics. So, conversations with the thrill from Brazil in the corner on Bruna Takahashi's side. They'll keep figuring out what it will take to keep Yang Zilio in trouble here. The plot thickens, and game number 4 of this women's singles round of 32 battle will continue. Players return to the table. Again, the conversations with their coaches, always interesting to see. It's amazing how important intelligence is in table tennis. Hugo Calderano, one of the most intelligent players I've seen in terms of just sheer, I mean, he knows the capital of every country on the planet. As soon as that changes, the capital's name, he's updated.
Love 1.
And I can tell you, Bruna Takahashi also quite intelligent, as sharp as they come. So those adjustments have been made so far.
1-4.
Again, fast long serve, deep to the backhand corner. Again, you only have a 2-serve combination, so trying to fool the opponent with that second serve is important.
1-2.
And again, exposed on the backhand. You could argue it's her greatest weapon, but with great power comes great vulnerability. What?
3-1.
It is a double-edged sword whenever you're playing with a racket that has something surprising, something a bit unconventional.
3-1.
As soon as someone works through the gimmick, you have to find a new game plan. And gimmick is a strong word, to be fair. Here's a timeout On the side of Yang Zilio, you could see the rocket backhand that she played. Sometimes people just don't have access to practice partners of this quality, someone who can play a shot like that, and it takes a little bit of time to learn how to calibrate, how to open your racket, because naturally if you block the ball the way you're used to, it'll come down into the net.
不要是总怕这个正手位的这个中间的反手位的都可以，不要怕他拧。要长的牵着这个，发完长的注意贴两码就好一点，是不是？不要发完长的它一加质量，不要加力就好，是不是？往前送一点，留一点球，好不好？放开了打。哎呀，等于0-0开始打，怎么了？ 状态兴奋一点，加油！
So if I were her dad or her coach, what would I be saying right now? Well, you'd have to imagine, as someone who's so strong near the table, that recognizing when the opponent is crowding the table and going for a long push, or trying to get her to play something from baseline that you can counter. But if you're trying to keep it half long or short and the opponent's there, I mean, Bruna's just been too strong at opening the rally right now. So in the service game, that might mean a deep push to the backhand or something quick to the short side of the table.
1-5.
But a perfectly placed serve here as Bruna Takahashi leaves little comfort there. And an outright point directly out of her opponent's timeout.
1-6.
Bruna Takahashi doing an outstanding job of keeping Yang Zilio behind the table. 13 of the last 16 points, more than 75%. That's a recipe for success. Near the table, heavy topspin with the forehand. Again, needs to keep the pressure on Bruna so that she can't make a quality, comfortable opening attack. And a long push. You have to imagine this was part of the conversation. As discussed, at least in my hypothetical of what if. She's found two quick answers. And now the opening is hers. Takes the initiative with the backhand. Doesn't always have to be a kill shot, but the timeout quickly regifted. Low push gets passive play, and that very wristy backhand on the parallel. By the time it comes into where Bruna is, I mean, it never really does hit that sweet spot. All just dropped out from under.
Já entendeu agora como é o jogo. A dupla sacou no meio, se pegou bem. Só não ficar muito no shows, que ela pode ficar confortável. Lembrar de usar o meio. Mas o principal é ficar ativa no corpo e na mente, para achar a solução e mexer rápido e agressivo.
Back from the timeout here. We'll see what the conversation is. Yang Zilio well on her way to coming back.
4-7.
Good pressure, the quality. Again, it's tough. In table tennis, it's natural to want to play a ball soft when it seems unlikely that you can make the shot you want, but you really have to push through sometimes and force yourself to take chances.
8-4.
And Bruna Takahashi's done that well out of the timeout. Again, it can be uncomfortable, but the best thing isn't always the easiest thing. It's often not that way, especially in adversarial sports. One where you're facing off in real time with an opponent.
Nine-4. 4-10.
So 6 game points now for Bruna Takahashi to send this to the decider. After game number 2, most wouldn't have thought we'd be here now. Rocket backhand, this is the one. Feels like it's been a while since we've seen it effective, but you know how dangerous it can be.
10-6.
And a tight serve as well, waiting with that third ball attack as the weapon, the threat, the beware of dog sign on the gate. Beautiful forehand does it, and Bruna Takahashi sends this to the decider, game number 5. It is what the spectators want to see. And the families of Bruna Takahashi, or I should say the family of Bruna Takahashi, friends and family, will be wanting to see. But on the other side, it only makes the heart race faster. So as pressure builds, a little conversation, and the decider coming up right after this.
Decide the game. Liu to serve. Long all.
So the momentum, no question about it, has completely switched to the more colorful jersey out on court. Bruna Takahashi of Brazil dominating the last 2 games.
1 love.
A little bit of fortune to help out Yang Zilio, who could use it after 11-4 and 11-6 in the last 2.
Love 2.
Top of the net once again. Remember, tactically speaking, Yang Zilio is going to be looking to stay close to the table and only attack when she can really attack with confidence.
1-2.
So here, not a bad attack on the first one, maybe 70%. This isn't going to be enough to deter Bruna Takahashi from aggressively countering.
2-0.
That's interesting. Once the ball is tossed, coaching is no longer allowed. I wouldn't be surprised if the umpire says something. Between points, no problem, but when the ball's in play, not okay.
3-2.
Edging ahead here once again, Yang Zilio. Perfect calibration here as Bruna Takahashi gets the racket high and comes down on top of this arcing spin shot. Heavy underspin there. And this one could be very uncomfortable. High backhands often are. See from this side angle how low to the net these shots are. 2 quality shots from Yang Zilio. Massive point here, you could see by her reaction. No fortune on this one, just something to switch sides of the table with a bit of momentum. It was all placement there. The opening shot might have been a little bit substandard for her in terms of her tactics right now, but the follow-up perfectly on the line. Chiquita in the follow-up placement. Takahashi down the line, really determined as she drives forward behind this ball. Oh, this one as well, a beauty. The second time in recent points, back-to-back, really. Take another look. Touch shot. Dad says, don't worry about it, it's nothing. Although, as we saw in the replay, that's something you might have to tell yourself when you're the opponent, but it was definitely something. And the parallel on the backhand side as well. Bruna Takahashi just keeping it completely unpredictable. Trying to exhale stress out here. Yang Zilio. Bit surprising there, a few pushes in a row. Yang Zilio just looking for answers now, but for the last several points, Bruna Takahashi has made that quite difficult. It's always going to be tough falling away from the table. Still taking her chances though, recognizing that even out of position it might be better to take the attack, take my chances. And that camera angle was a nice change of pace from Yang Zilio.
8-6.
And the fiery screams coming out. Bruna Takahashi has worked incredibly hard to be here. Obviously, Yang Zilio as well. It just started better for her than it did for Bruna Takahashi.
Continue play. 8-6. 9-6.
2 points away from what seemed unlikely to be happening after game number 2. Bruna Takahashi with the second serve here. 6 of the last 8 points she's won. And the forehand flick kill sets up 4 match points for Bruna Takahashi. Yang Zilio serving against match points, 4 of them. Top of the net and out. She's hanging on by a thread. 1 match point saved. Looked like it might be a shovel serve, then goes straight underspin. And a cracking forehand to follow, continuing to add pressure. That is a body language of, I was going to say someone a little bit younger, but I think we've seen Ma Long do it too. This is how did I get here? 2 match points saved. 2 more to go for Bruna Takahashi. And that is it. Bruna Takahashi with the crushing forehand manages to take the match from down 0-2 against a very strong opponent. Yang Zilio makes her debut on international television and shows the world that she is a force to be reckoned with, that Australia has an up-and-coming superstar in the making. But Bruna Takahashi would not let that person pass, not here today. Congratulations, Bruna Takahashi, for outstanding resilience and brilliance on the court. The power, the tactics, the conversation, and the hard work all paid off in a best of 5. Better late than never, and it's not over until it's over, which it is now. 11-8, Bruna Takahashi moves on to the round of 16 over Yang Zilio of Australia. So, here is a look at how things broke down. 45-41 in total points. Serves almost dead even here. Points lost on serve, okay. Nothing too telling there. Back and forth, an 11-2 victory for that 9-point lead in game number 2. I mean, they were quite well balanced, but it was a seesaw match. This is why it is constantly solving a puzzle. They say that table tennis is good for not only the body, but the brain. And the reason is because of matches like that. Well, we've got another exciting one to come up. It's Tomokazu Harimoto of Japan, the global sensation, versus the Giant Slayer, a giant himself, Patrick Franziska of Germany. That match coming up right after this.
better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Way up, now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Way up, now we going way up. Now we.
Welcome back to the Infinity Arena, where the action is going down right here at the WTT Champions Xinjiang 2023. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobrow, and so far today, we've had Dong Cho, the European champion, penhold sensation from Germany, taking out Liam Pitchford of England 3-0. Bruna Takahashi with a marathon match, a comeback from down 0-2 against the up-and-coming Yang Zilio of Australia. You know what's coming up next, and 2 big ones to follow, so you cannot go anywhere. Get ready for Harimoto and Franziska.
首先，让我们有请出世界排名第16，来自德国的弗朗西斯卡。
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the world number 16 from Germany, Patrick Franziska.
接下来，让我们欢呼庆祝世界排名第3，来自日本的张本智和。
Let's welcome the world number 3 from Japan, Tomokazu Harimoto.
So here he comes, the man who has been quite a conversation for the last 8 years. Head-to-head, they've played 7 times. And Patrick Franziska, just for the record, is the only player in table tennis, including Chinese players, to have beaten Ma Long, Fan Zhendong, and Xu Xin. Nobody else. And Tomokazu Harimoto's beaten him 7 out of 7 times. So put that in your think tank for a minute and swish it around. Think about what that means. Powerful as can be, Tomokazu Harimoto, still a young shining star for Japan, and will be playing a best-of-5 match, meaning first player to win 3 games wins the match. Games played to 11 points must win by 2. Jiana, our umpire for the match, will be taking care of the coin toss and also staring straight forward for the next 3 minutes. Okay, she turned her head. But for a moment there, that laser-like focus, maybe it's that moment of I know I'm about to be in a close-up on camera. Patrick Franziska, a recent Champions League winner with Saarbrücken, him, Darko Jorgic, Cedric Neutink, and now a good handshake and look. Patrick Franziska towers over most in table tennis.
Red or black? Black for you, red for you. You win the toss. Receive. Which hand? This hand.
That coin toss was, I think, a little bit low. I'm surprised she didn't get a warning from the assistant umpire. Not 16 centimeters there. No, spinny coin toss. Patrick Franziska wins it and gives the serve to Tomokazu Harimoto. Pros and cons to that. Patrick Franziska, it's so interesting to be capable to beat the 3 players that he's most famous for beating. I think it takes just incredible fearlessness and just this bold willingness to take big backhands from behind the table, to step around and play forehands where he needs. But Tomokazu Harimoto, at only 19 years old, world number 3. I want to say he was world number 3 when he was 15 years old, which is also crazy. You'll have a chance to see his sister more and more on the international stage, Miwa Harimoto. The two Harimoto kids, born and raised in Sendai, Japan, and bringing a lot of pride to the land of the rising sun. But this 30-year-old here, Patrick Franziska, became a father not too long ago, last summer, currently world rank number 16. And when he beat Ma Long, was one of the, well, still one of the top 4 here. Zhang Ben Zhihe, his name in Chinese. It's interesting, all around the world players have different names in different languages, but as table tennis is quite popular here in China, some of the nicknames a bit more famous, well known. So they take 2 minutes here to shake out nerves. A little bit of blocking from Tomokazu Harimoto, a reminder of what's on the line, not just pride, but prize money. $35,000 US to the champion of this event, and 1,000 points in world rankings. I'm sure you'll have a chance to see the ranking leaderboard here. It looks like Tomokazu Harimoto's legs. Sure enough, the leg hair pattern that less common on Patrick Franziska, I guess. Good times. We spend a lot of time studying that for table tennis. Anyway, Patrick Franziska, a very gutsy player, very fair player. Tomokazu Harimoto, known for his aggressive near-the-table play and his backhand, but he's got a punch that's a bit unusual. These flatter shots closer to the table, many have said since the ball size has changed, and it changed back in the day, let's say 2001, after the Olympics, from 38 millimeters to 40 millimeters, and then again to 40 plus.
Franziska. First game, Harimoto to serve, love all.
That plus means 0.5 millimeters more in diameter. Here we go. It's Harimoto to start it off. If these are the rallies that we're going to be seeing, that is an outstanding sampling in the very first point of the match. People have said that since the ball got bigger, rallies got shorter. I don't know about that. I'd love to see the data to support that. But a more classic example of serve and attack. This is the goal of any player, really, to end the rally as quickly as possible. Tight serve and the follow-up attack. Harimoto converts both of his serves. And the flat hit from the forehand, a blocking point. Harimoto with the racket high on the backhand side, withstands all the heat covering. And then as soon as it comes out to the forehand, just that extra bit of backswing to add some acceleration to the ball, and he plays it perfectly on the parallel. It's interesting, some of these close-ups, you normally see quite clean cuts for the rubber. Little jagged edge there from Franz, Patrick Franziska. Every once in a while an umpire will say something about it. Could have been from the training hall. Good depth on this one. Feels like it's popped up a little bit, but at that length on the table, it's not going to be easy for Harimoto to flick that. First point for Franz in this match. Head nods, a turn back. The coach on the bench, Coach Zhu, who's been here for the German men. We're all wishing Timo well. Timo was supposed to be here and had to pull out due to injury. But 4 German men leading the world of table tennis that are quite famous internationally. A good handcuffing serve there. Franz gets a push back to that backhand corner. Take another look. Harimoto's going to have to force himself to either be aggressive where he can on the receive, do anything he can to keep Franz uncomfortable in his opening attack. And a bit of pressure here with the topspin does it. A handful of players with incredibly strong backhands over the table outside of China. 2 of them are out here right now. And over the table, you'd probably even favor Tomokazu Harimoto for his receive game. Tomokazu, one of the tallest players on the Japanese team. But even as tall as he is, that ball is going to be out of reach, dropping just behind the net. No spin at all on the toss, as it should be. Heavy underspin on the serve. just scaling that top, skimming that purple tape. Remember, 7 of 7. Harimoto has never lost to Patrick Franziska on the international stage. Beautiful parallel backhand here for Franz to make his case. He's back within 2. A little bit more than a block, and then the second backhand deep to the middle. Has to play 3 backhands that are sort of lukewarm there, but quite aggressive considering, before he can really get the wrist in to put on that finishing spin. And a good deep serve here, Harimoto mixing it up. It's funny, Harimoto at 11 years old beat 2 men in the top 100 in the world. He was tiny at the time, but showed that he is mentally quite strong and capable. Now, the most massive player on the Japanese team, pound for pound, he's got to be the heaviest player and the physically strongest player on the Japanese team. Bit off the edge there, but risk paying off. Again, when he has that chance for that little tuck, that tuck of the wrist to get that more backswing, a little bit more racket speed on it. Franz can be quite dangerous. Within 2 points. Good little string there of points. It's now Harimoto's chance. He's got the serves. They've worked out well, surprisingly long from time to time. Interesting, interesting. It's cleaning the racket there. When you see a player breathe on their racket or wipe it, means maybe they weren't happy about the spin in the last rally. They want it to be fresh and ready for action. The frustration, I can't remember the last time I've heard Franz shout like that, and it's in game 1 of a match. Japanese crew there on screen. Yukiya Uda watching with mask on. Yukiya Uda's sparring partner. It's actually from China, which is not uncommon. It's quite common in Japan for sparring partners to be from China. It's nice to have the resources to afford that. 2 game points for Tomokazu Harimoto. Doesn't miss by a lot, but Franziska saves game point. Going for a little walk there. Looks like the pondering of should I take a timeout, but for a player who's 7-0, Harimoto doesn't seem like he'll need it unless there's a massive shift here. Got this one. He's saved 2. He turns back. Franz with the beautiful serve there across the middle of the table. If you're newer to table tennis, the serve can be anywhere. The line in the middle of the table is only there for doubles, so there's complete freedom for the server in that respect. Alternating serves from here on out. The pressure withstands. It is Harimoto pressuring Franziska. With the racket high, the more passive play from the bigger man on court, Patrick Franziska has earned himself game point. Take a look at how this goes. Harimoto takes control. Franz just quickly getting that racket up and over. From down 2 game points, he has a game point of his own now. And that is all he needs. A massive victory for a player who is 0-7. Comes back with 4 straight points from 8-10 down to get this first game. Still a long way to go in this best of 5. But it is a bigger piece of the pie, and it tastes good for Patrick Franziska right now. Keep your appetite ready because game 2 will be delicious. Players back to the table for game number 2. Bit of washing of the face there, drying up all around. Coach Ju in the corner, Patrick Franziska with a massive victory there in game 1. That's Ju Xiaoyong, who's been working with Team Germany for quite some time. On Harimoto's side,
Franziska to serve. Love all.
it's Dong Chi-ming. So, Harimoto on a mission here. Interesting. You could feel the tactics. He was saying, I'll let you take the first shot, but I want you to be off balance. I want you to come in and flick from over the table so that I can catch you coming back. Never came to be 7 of the last 8 for France. More initiative here, though. Harimoto gets in over the table. Now, this is the thing with getting ripped in table tennis. Quads, sure. Core, yes. Legs, absolutely. But if your upper body's too tight, you're not going to be as flexible. And it comes back quite long, but Harimoto follows it the whole way, keeping his eye on the ball until the point is over with certainty here. Excellent pace on those shots inside the table. From just behind the baseline here too, showing the flexibility in that wrist, how we can generate so much racket speed in just a moment. And it was an uncomfortable ball. I mean, that was really perfectly placed by Patrick Franziska to attempt a forehand turn.
1-4.
When I think about some of the best points that Tomokazu Harimoto has played in recent history, what makes him so strong? 1, he's incredible at blocking. 2, he's not afraid to flat hit, so he can quickly adjust from the blocking game. And 3, when he has time to spin and drive the ball, he's fast and powerful. These are some of the ingredients that made him unbeaten in the semifinals against China in Chengdu at the World Championships last year. Which is quite a statement when you think about it, beating world number 1, Fan Zhendong, a player who's a full head above everybody else by world ranking points, and Wang Chuqin as well. Quick spinny shot there, and Harimoto completely controlling the scoreboard in this game. Doesn't miss by a lot, but the head shake there.
2-7.
I think Harimoto was saying shot selection. You can't relax. Yes, 7-1 up, but be down, be ready. And the quality of the forehands immediately changed and improved here. Harimoto, when he shook his head in that last point, he did more than just shake his head. He shook himself into position for the next point. Quality there. Another one to cover the middle.
9-2.
And power, we know he's got that power. The shallow lob. Harimoto comes in and crushes it. Watch where that one bounces, right in near the net. Just too much freedom and unpredictability. 8 game points now for the 19-year-old Tomokazu Harimoto, ball kid crossing.
3-10.
Penny in the jar, step in the right direction, saving up. Two very quick points here for Patrick Franziska. Harimoto is going to do everything to make sure he doesn't get too relaxed or lose focus. That's all that is needed. As smooth as can be, that forehand shot. So 11-4, a dominant performance after having 2 game points in the first. Could be 2-0 right now for Tomokazu, but Patrick Franziska had other ideas in game 1. What'll happen in game 3? Patrick Franziska be able to find ways to do what he did in game 1? Only time will tell. Stay right here. Players back to the table for game number 3. It's tied up at 1 game apiece. Harimoto with some serious momentum here. Japan's Tomokazu Harimoto in blue. Germany's Patrick Franziska in red right there. Just popped up out of nowhere. Perfect timing.
Game, Harimoto to serve. Love ball.
Even the police officers here filling the stands. Just too good not to watch. I don't know if I said that right, but the point is, people can't resist it. People who are on the job, it's like, please, boss. The boss is like, yeah, I want to watch too.
Sorry.
1-all.
Sounded like a little bit of fortune off the edge of the table there from France. There it is. Takes his chances, goes right for the line, catches the edge. Only has to touch the playing surface from that angle, no question about it.
2-1.
So last time these two played was actually not so long ago, the very end of last year. Cup finals here in Xinjiang. It was Tomokazu Harimoto who won it 3-0. Round of 16 battle. Now, Tomokazu Harimoto is known for a lot of things, being an exceptional player and also wearing his heart on his sleeve, celebrating his victories every point as if it was its own match. It's worked out quite well for him. Look at this backhand leaning forward.
3-2.
Remember, wingspan on the other side. There's no shortage of wingspan. Benedict Duda in the background there right behind the Japanese bench. Look at the bend on that ball, the curve, not just topspin, but side spin to go with it.
2-4.
That extra bit of strength. It's been years and years in the weight room for Tomokazu Harimoto. It's interesting, a lot of the Japanese players knowing Chinese because of their practice partners or sparring partners. New ball, please. Tomokazu Harimoto, both of his parents grew up playing in China, moved to Sendai to give birth to Tomokazu and Miwa.
2-5.
I feel like the rivalry, you could call it a rivalry, but maybe it's just motivating. Family. We've seen a lot of families succeeding. Siblings in table tennis as Patrick Franziska sneaks one past here. Both Miwa and Tomokazu catching a lot of attention with the way they're playing and have been for years, especially recently Miwa. Smart play here, the heavy push from France. Invites back a shot with heavy topspin for him to counter. Easy no. Predictable? Well, France clearly predicted it. But these are the patterns of play. For people who are newer to table tennis, they often say, why did the person hit it right to the person? Why'd they hit it right there? These are handcuffs that they're placing on you. Knowing the spin, knowing what the options are, and what's most likely to get you in position to win the point. Hear that flat hitting forehand. Harimoto took his chances, but the head shake, I think, was his way of saying he wasn't thrilled about that shot selection. Ooh, break off the top of the net.
5-6.
Harimoto in the push play never really got his opportunity to explode. Good hands from Patrick Franziska. Again, it's tough when the ball comes off the net like that because it changes the rotation, let alone the timing and trajectory of the ball. And all back to Coach Dong in the corner. Dong Qingming. Pressure as soon as he starts. He becomes merciless. The opening, now it's on. The bumpers have been removed from the lane. Pads taken off. And it is an all-out crushing topspin battle.
8-5.
It's always interesting to see. Sometimes in the replays you can see the ball is actually spinning less. These motions, it's not always how much spin is on it, just how difficult it is to read. But a good follow-up from inside the baseline, and Tomokazu Harimoto rushing ahead on the scoreboard now. 4 points in front. Felt like I saw 5-5 on the screen. Just a blink of an eye ago. 4 in a row now, at least. And the short side of the table, Tomokazu Harimoto with 5 game points. He's got quite a fan base here in China. Anyone who can challenge China is going to have friends and fans in China. And a smooth escape there to finish this game, creating quite a quiet Patrick Franziska, who's got his work cut out for him. So we shall see in this match. Patrick Franziska's already done 1 game better than he did last time they played, but that won't be enough to satisfy him. We shall see who will get greater satisfaction. 4 and 5. That is all that has been allowed by Tomokazu Harimoto, the world ranked number 3, who's up 2-1. You're welcome, everybody in the audience. Patrick Franziska there in the flesh. Usually when I say that, there's not actually that much skin or flesh there. That said, here are the men's seeds. For the WTT champions, Xinjiang 2023, Tomokazu in the 3rd spot. Who else is up there? A lot of faces. You just saw Ugo Calderano in the coaching corner there for Bruna Takahashi. Truls Morgard, can't wait to see his match. He'll be playing against Yukiya Uda tomorrow. Ma Long will be the last one up tonight against Anton Kjellberg of Sweden. I think that's a rematch from Singapore, if I'm not mistaken, where Ma Long was dominant. Which is crazy to say considering how impressively dominant Anton Kjellberg has been in the German league, which is one of the strongest leagues in the world. So, just goes to show you, we've got the new table there. The Volant King 2.
Franziska to serve. Love all.
1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. It is a double fish table. Exclusive for these events. Gotta love what WTT is doing. Franz back for action. Oh! Not that type of action. Well, I guess he was here for it. Probably wasn't the intention. Little souvenir there. But no omiyage this time around. It is Patrick Franziska all over the bounce. As fast as can be. And the ball comes up just a little bit higher on that last one. It's part of the reason Tomokazu in that replay just couldn't possibly predict where he needed to be. Oh, the power.
3-1.
Wasn't an easy ball either. This ball was shallow and in an awkward place. Watch where it's left. Comes up quite high, but in near the table, or in near the net rather, on the backhand side. So Franz has to step around.
4-1.
Sehr gut indeed. Franziska looking to take this to the decider. Still a long way to go. We've seen bigger streaks. It's just a 3-point lead, despite the fact that he has 80% so far.
1-5.
So with the first towel break here, 5 of the first 6, favoring the player who needs it most right now. A player in a must-win position for this game. He wants to extend the match or win the match at all. Tomokazu would love to win this game, of course, but has the flexibility. He could do it here or in the 5th. Not even a movement.
1-6.
Harimoto in that replay. I mean, France right now is in control like never before. That backhand opening was so fast and so fluid. But a good length on this. Harimoto low and inside the table, shuts down any opening aggression from France. It's going to have to be more than one individual point, though. Some combinations, some strings here. Good recipe to make it happen. This type of play, you'd think you might see a timeout. From time to time, I forget to write it down. Good fishing there. We call it fishing when a player's behind the table, not hitting it as high as a lob, but sort of top spinning it back just above head height, keeping it in play with some pressure. That is just unbelievable. He can hit the ball so hard, and Harimoto with the racket high is able to adjust and just deflect it back. The big shield, and now the timeout. The power that France brings. So this is the timeout. If you're newer to table tennis, players get 1 each in a match. So a little look about what is coming up next. Chun Meng, the Olympic champion, is dipped a little bit in the world rankings. Currently at world number 4, and one of the last non-Chinese players to beat her around the world other than Bernie Such is Jun Ji-hee. So, Jun Ji-hee right here has been the leading lady for Team Korea for some time now. She's fast, she's smooth, and get this, she's left-handed. What? An advantage in racket sports. So that'll be a match that you should definitely stick around to see, but this one could be far from over. So while Tomokazu Harimoto is of course fluent in Japanese, being raised to parents who speak Chinese as their native language, he's also fluent in Mandarin, most common dialect of the Chinese language. So the momentum is favored Tomokazu Harimoto, and out of France's timeout, serves are with Harimoto himself. The blocking game once again.
5-6.
It's weird. You could call it anything you want, really. In terms of bold versus more cautious, blocking is rarely thought of as bold play, but against someone who hits this hard, it can be scary to not ever really initiate the attack. To say, I think my odds are better keeping my racket high, staying in position. And that's really what it is. It's the more efficient stroke. Harimoto's never out of position there. You can see in that replay, he's well centered. If the ball comes freely to his backhand or forehand side with just a little bit less pace, he'll crack down. He'll put some serious power behind the ball. That said, first point in a long time from France.
7-6.
I remember 6-2 he was up. Possibly even one more than that, but now a much needed point there from Patrick Franziska, who's fighting for survival in this match. This is very interesting. This could spark a long conversation about why you so rarely see pros serve the ball short, like genuinely short. Shorter side of half long, okay, but if it's too short, the opponent has no trouble keeping it short if they can't attack it. Good pressure, and Harimoto reminding his opponent that he's right there. in the shadows, breathing on the back of the neck of France right now. There it is, 6 of the last 8. And the momentum continues for Tomokazu Harimoto, who ties it up here. When you think about some of the greatest Germans in the game currently, as Dmitry Ovtcharov had to back out here, making room for Matthias Falk, if I'm not mistaken. Dmitry Ovtcharov was world number 1 recently, but Ma Long is his kryptonite. And for these two, you're looking at the kryptonite. Well, when I started that sentence, you were. Tomokazu Harimoto, 2 points away from 8 and bagel against a man who's not looking for any cream cheese right now, just looking to send this to the decider. What hands, Franz. I mean, he was completely backpedaling. He was caught off guard by this touch shot, went the opposite way and was able to play it from baseline and still save the point. This is why you never give up. You never know. Was that an ideal shot or position for Franz to be in? Of course not. But as long as the score hasn't been called, as long as they're still keeping score, there's still a chance. The Giant, who is a Giant Slayer himself. 9-9 in game 4. And it is now match point for Tomokazu Harimoto. The crowd watches as the smiles start to come out just from the antics and the body language that Tomokazu Harimoto brings. If you ever question if he's trying his hardest, I don't know what you're watching. Match point.
Thank you.
And he does it. Tomokazu Harimoto dishes out the bagel. 8-0, a flawless record against one of the best in the game. Germany's Patrick Franziska, world number 16, has been eliminated once again by Tomokazu Harimoto, the 19-year-old world rank number 3. A respectful handshake to Coach Ju on the German side, but a roar like a lion. It is Tomokazu Harimoto who moves on to the round of 32 in the men's singles event, climbing in the world rankings. People have been asking for years, are we looking at a world number 1? Are we looking at an Olympic gold medalist? Not yet, but time will tell. And the work ethic, there is no question about it, that Tomokazu Harimoto has his mind set on nothing other than gold. Narrow defeats in game number 1, and then 4, 5, and 9. Tomokazu Harimoto looking fine here in this match. Stats on screen here. What stands out to you at home? Well, points won on serve, 6 up there. Interesting, points lost on serve, 7 between them. Have to think through that a bit. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So 36 and 37. My math skills right up there with addition and subtraction. I can do that for minutes. Anyway, Chun Meng and Jun Ji Hee. It is a China-Korea battle that is more than that. It is a rematch from one of the greatest, most memorable defeats against the Olympic champion, Chun Meng. Let's see, that match is coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Infinity Arena, coming to you live from WTT Champions Xinjiang 2023, right here in the home of table tennis in China, Xinjiang, China, in the Henan province. We started off session 2 with the European champion penhold sensation Dong Cho 3-0 over Liam Pitchford of England. Bruna Takahashi with an outstanding comeback from down 0-2 to win 3-2, and you saw Harimoto 3-1, but now Chun Meng and Jun Ji-hee.
现在让我们用热切的声音呼喊出世界排名第33位，来自韩国的天之星。
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the world number 33 from Korea, Jun Ji-hee.
现在让我们用呐喊声请出世界排名第4，来自中国的陈梦。
Let's welcome the world number 4 from China, Chen Mu.
Well, suddenly there's a different level of being alive here for the stadium. Looking around, I don't see a seat. Okay, I see a few, but it's tough to find them. 4-1, Chun Meng. Interesting. It only takes that one. But if you've beaten Chun Meng before, that's enough to inspire hope. World rank number 33, Jun Ji-hee. A little bit of a dip in the world rankings. She was just outside the top 10 not too long ago. The left-handed player. Both shake hands grips. You could see the logo on screen there. Speaking of shake handers, here's a pen holder, Ma Lin. These are the two most dominant grips, the most prevalent grips in the game. Pen hold a distant second, though, to the shake hands grip that we see. Fascinating. Best of 5 match. The fascinating thing is that's Jun Ji-hee's coach. Bipin Mera, our umpire for the match, will be taking care of the coin toss. If you're just joining us, happy to have you here and excited because you couldn't have picked a better time to be watching table tennis. This match has a lot of narrative going on.
For the toss, black and white. Black with the call.
Jun Ji-hee calls black.
You want the toss.
Never goes back.
You will serve. Same play.
Checking the lighting here, Chun Meng, after the serve was chosen by Jun Ji-hee. It's interesting, Jun Ji-hee, one of many who was born and raised in China and realized that the grass would be greener on other pastures and pursued a career elsewhere. Korea has been an outstanding home for her for years. Actually, there's a dog named Tagu, which is Korean for table tennis, so loves the sport, 29 years old. Chun Meng, this is the age of retirement for many that have come before her. 85% career win. Off memory, I think Ma Long was only, let's say, 2% higher. She's one of the most dominant players in the last decade, Chun Meng. The 2010s were Ding Nings. The 2020s, I'd have to guess, will be Sun Ying Sha's. Jun Ji-hee, already 30, 1 year older than Chun Meng. Currently world ranked number 3, 12 years of pro, so she spent some time in Korea playing. I want to say the time she beat Chun Meng was actually in T2, so in terms of pressure, things are a little bit different. There were some losses there for a variety of top Chinese players. Speaking of top, the top of this event will get $35,000 and 1,000 points for their world rankings, which could be worth just as much, if not more, in money in terms of sponsorship and contracts. Fans in their seats. Chun Meng, Da Meng, big dream they call her in China. You can see it on her bracelet, you can see it on her necklace. The table tennis, the personalized jewelry of the big dream herself, the